Hey everybody, welcome back to GWN. I'm Noctaire, your host. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the little bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. Talking a little bit today about the Big Bart strategy. And it's basically a Bart with boxer giants and bombers. The cannon carts and the raged barbarians are the other half of that, the Bart, if you will. And it's a great strategy in general for your attacks. To be honest, I think it's kind of the most balanced and best general attack strategy in the game as you're working your way up to the higher levels of Builder Hall 8, where you're going to go more custom, obviously. And the composition, really, it's kind of a personal preference, but I think most people are probably going to want to run with 3 Raged Barbarian, 1 Boxer Giant, 1 cannon cart, and 1 bomber. And the reason for that is that the Raged Barbarians act both as a tank as well as, and more importantly, as a distractor for the defenses to keep your other troops alive. Now obviously that's also a function of the Boxer Giants, and they're going to take the heat from some of the bigger defenses, like for example that giant cannon that doesn't phase him so much, or maybe the hidden Tesla, or even the roaster. But the Raged Barbarians provide the bulk of the distraction, and this is kind of the thing for these Raged Barbarians. They just overwhelm the base. You know, when you let them loose, they stay raged for a while, but it's the quantity that does the trick on these attacks. And of course, keeping your bombers alive till the end always helps out, because they'll probably take out 1 or 2 buildings more along the way. Unless, you know, they'd have to get just a little bit too close to one of the defenses, in which case they might not get as many. But either way, keep them alive as long as you can. 81% 2-star on that one for Mango, and this is another meta base. Moving into the next one, it's an R2-D2, a brackets base, pretty standard. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Start off with the Raged Barbarians around the outside to clear the junk buildings, and then we're going to move into the tanking, and that's where the Boxer Giants come into play. Boxer Giants work their way in through the openings at the top of this base and hit a few traps along the way. You know, you got push traps and spring traps and mines and mega mines you got to deal with. Unfortunately, in this case, a mega mine gets a couple of his cannon carts. Takes them largely out of the equation. He's only got the 1 left, and that can be tough. That can be real tough. Doesn't work out too bad in the end for him, because he's able to continue to push through, but for some players that might be an issue, and you might want to take 2 camps of cannon carts instead of 1. Kind of up to you. I like going with 1. These guys went with 1. Just depends on your playing style. But in the end, he's able to work his way through and take out a fair amount of the buildings. Last cannon cart that survived is able to finish off that crusher, and then just moves over to get in reach of that gold storage to take down the health on that before he ends up getting, of course, getting beaten down as well. The bomber manages to survive a little bit longer and takes out the last sliver of health, so that we walk away with a 72% 2-star. Not too bad. Next one, another bracket style base. It's a little bit different. A lot of folks are taking these brackets bases and just kind of moving things around, especially the walls. But when you look at it, it's almost the same as most of the other ones. It's got the brackets on the side. The bottom of it's closed. Top has got, I don't know, kind of that weird no man's land there. I'm not quite sure what the value is of that. I guess it's just to slow down the troops so that they can't simply walk up to the one wall. It's got the junk buildings around the edge, typically the army camps like you would see on most of the other ones. So it's a bracket base for the most part. More boxy than bracket, I suppose. But once again, Mango comes in, uses his Raged Barbarians to take down some of those outside buildings just to get rid of the junk. Uses the bombers to open it up, break the pathing, and then in goes everything else. You know, the Boxer Giants are going to continue to tank, battle machine tanks. The line forms up. You've got more Raged Barbarians overwhelming the defenses, until finally, you know, we work our way down to just a few last bits and pieces of defenses that are there, and he'll take out the last couple to get his 72% 2-star and another win, another good high result. Coming down to the end of the season, I got to say we still saw typically 65 to 75% as the winning range. Obviously, the higher you get, the more likely you are to win, but it still works out. Here's another base that's a little bit different. It's kind of a custom base, if you will. And most of these ground strats are going to work well against them. And here we go with another one. In this case, Big Bart. The idea of forming up the walls around your builder hall in the middle, I don't know if that really makes a difference anymore with a lot of the ranged attacks that we've been seeing. You know, taking in a cannon cart or sneaky archers or whatever. They tend to do a pretty good job of breaking through that defensive mechanism. And of course, if you've got your bombers with you, they'll just take down the walls anyway. One of the reasons why you really want to get your walls up a little bit more than this one was. I was kind of surprised to see this up over 5,000 with those lower level walls in there, but it still made it through, which means that that guy was probably a pretty good attacker. So there you have it, another look at the Big Bart attack strategy. Hopefully you guys have this one and can tinker around with it. If not, you might want to add it to your arsenal pretty soon. Thanks a lot for sticking around to the end of the video. Comments, questions down below, or hit me up at nocterror@gmail.com. I'm out of here, going to go and see if I can't do a little pushing. I'll talk at you later. Keep on clashing. Bye-bye.